Hello, welcome to my channel. This is a book review of The Emotionally Healthy Leader by Peter Scazzero. How transforming your inner life will deeply transform your church, team, and the world. As always, if you're interested in the book, there's a link in the description down below. This is a Christian leadership book that is great for leaders in and out of the church context, whether that be for business or nonprofit. You do not need to be a Christian also to gain valuable insight from this book. Now, the premise of the book is reflecting at oneself to uncover the hidden motives and condition of our heart in relation to our upbringing and past, to see how it is affecting our decision-making ability and effectiveness of leading a team. Now, I finished this book, but I'm also currently going through this book with the staff team that I am on at my church. Peter Scazzero shares his experiences, the ups and many of the downs on his leadership career, planting a church in Queens, New York, and pastoring it for over 20 years. So this book is divided into 2 sections, each with 4 chapters, a total of 9 chapters when you include the first introductory chapter. Chapter 1 is titled The Emotionally Unhealthy Leader, which is what the entire book is about, and being able to spot that and what it's like to serve under someone who is not really emotionally stable or all there, but it's more just about emotions. The book's more just about that. It's a little bit deeper. So part 1, the first part of the book, deals with the inner life, the things that others may not see but end up affecting your leadership. And so those things are, these are just the title chapters here: face your shadow, the things that, a lot of people or even yourself might not even see, but it's just following you around everywhere you go. Number 3, lead out of your marriage or singleness. 4, slow down for a loving union. That means spending more time with God. He made his chapters, some of the titles a little bit weird, like chapter 5, practice Sabbath delight. Every time he said Sabbath delight, I said Turkish delight, because I'm a C.S. Lewis fan. But basically making sure that you take some time to rest. Talks about the danger of workaholic, and how that can happen and it just affect people's lives and your leadership team. Part 2 deals with the outer life. So part 1 is the inner life, part 2 is the outer life, because both are important for leadership. Those things that deal more with actual leadership, where the rubber meets the road. So these titles are way better. 6, planning and decision making. 7, culture and team building. 8, power and wise boundaries. We're getting like the nitty gritty, but with power, I've never really seen someone just bluntly and just openly talk about power like that. And by power, he talks about the different types of forms that you have. I think there's 6 different forms of power that you have. And so the fact that you have power from your title, you have power, which is influence, you have the ability to influence others. You have it from your title, you have it from your personality, from the projection that other people put on you, from their own unmet needs, whether that's a good or bad. And then he just goes on and on about just adequately looking at the power that we have and how it can be abused too much and be abused if you're not using it enough. And then number 9, which is actually my favorite chapter of the book, endings and new beginnings. And so on page 49, he uses the example of a skyscraper to show the relationship between part number 1 and part number 2. So here is a picture of that right here. And so the first 4 chapters is the foundation that goes into the ground, and then the second part, the 4 chapters of the second part of the book, is what makes up the skyscraper that everyone sees, and everything that's so glamorous is the actual leadership that's taking place. Both are incredibly important, and without the bottom foundation, we would not have the top. And so, like I said, chapter 9 is one of my favorites, so I'm just going to dive into this real quick before I get to some of the quotes to end this video. But chapter 9 really focuses on, forces us to honestly look at the purpose of leadership and being in charge. So this is the question that he asks us: is the ultimate goal really to keep the thing running? Is that really the ultimate goal? Self-preservation is obviously a goal, but is that the ultimate goal? Or should there be a proper time to let things die so that other things may begin? So I've seen this all too often in churches and other things, where a certain ministry or scheduled meeting continues to suffer year after year, and the only reason it barely keeps going is because the leader believes it must. On page 240, which is in chapter 9, he says, some things just need to be allowed to die. And I was like, amen, when I read that. Some things just need to die. It's sad, it's tough. He doesn't say it's a happy thing. He's not trying to say it is. It's just necessary. Some things need to die. He talked about just theologically how there has to be death before there's a resurrection, before there is new life. Page 274 and 272, he says, we mistakenly believe that our responsibility as a leader is to always keep things going, even if they aren't working. If we accept the broader culture's view of endings as a failure and something to be avoided, we will neglect one of the most essential tasks of leadership, helping others navigate endings and transitions well. Alright, so here are some of the other favorite quotes that I found just throughout the book, not just on chapter 9. Page 116, somehow it has become part of our default thinking that external markers of success are an indication that all must certainly be well at the leadership level. Page 204, I rebelled against God right in the midst of my work for God. And last quote here, page 255. Perhaps the best test I know for alerting me that I have strayed from a healthy use of power is when I resent people treating me like the servant I claim to be. So all in all, the book was well written, a solid leadership book, which really gave some great insight into my soul and my motives. I do recommend this book if you are any capacity of leadership or you want to do some soul searching. Please comment down below what you think and if you'd like me to review any other books. Thank you so much for watching.